People who are selling out or taking a break because they're not enjoying the game.
Hi, team! Happy Thursday, my thankful Therions. Boy, oh boy, we had a ban list the other day. You know what I'm not thankful for? That altogether. Usually we do ban list predictions, which are called breakfast and ban list. If you want to go check out any past ones, you certainly can. We didn't actually get the chance to do one for this ban list because it came out of literally nowhere. So we're actually going to do some like collateral talking about the ban list, but also talking about what should have happened on this list because let's be honest, this list kind of sucked. And that's okay. We're going to talk about it, and I do invite you to talk about what you think should have happened on this list in the comments because there's a lot of things that could have happened that did not happen. So we're gonna open up the floor today to all of you. I know we're all chock full of opinions, so please make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, like the video, and comment what you think should have happened on this list. I know we have a lot of feelings, some good, some bad, and somewhere in the void. That's okay, but we're gonna talk about some of our thoughts today, and you can comment all yours below in a nice, respectful way.
So let's address the elephant in the room. Konami actually did one thing very well, and that is banning Mystic Mine. This is something that the player base has been beckoning for 2 years now.
And now it just feels too late and really awkward and out of touch.
We said this in our Banlist reaction video. If you want to go check that out, feel free. There's a card up in the corner. However, it does feel like Konami can't really keep up with the format.
I said in the Banlist reaction that it literally feels like the game is moving too fast for the ban list, and people somehow agreed with that. And though I said it offhandedly, I think there's actually some merit to it. It just seems like every ban list for the last like 3-4 ban lists now, it feels like they're almost behind or not hitting things where they're supposed to, and they are hitting like a format 3 months ago, and like it's not their fault, but like it's not helping the state of the game.
So since we do not know when the next ban list is going to be, these are kind of going to be our picks moving forward as to what we want to see and kind of wanted to see on this most recent ban list.
I mean, they still apply. The format didn't change for anything, so these are still very valid things to want hit on the next list whenever a few months from now is, because that's just whenever. So let's get started.
The first thing I think I wanted to see, I think everyone kind of wanted to see, was a ban of Instant Fusion.
Yeah.
This is one of those cards that's just literally a one card full combo. It's 1,000 life points, which is absolutely meaningless in today's modern game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it doesn't require you to actually interact at all. You can't Ash Instant Fusion, you can't Bestial any of the Instant Fusion. Like it just literally, they just come out, there's the card,
does it.
searches,
oh look,
boom.
It's Kit Kalos, that's crazy. You just summoned her for free.
At the most recent YCS, the amount of boards that I was able to clear, my opponent top text Instant Fusion, and it's just auto game. It feels so bad. And I know it's a one-of card, but it's a one-of card that is actually just game ending.
I mean, I think one-ofs are one of the biggest problems in the game because they are sacky. They just put orange light to 1, which, sure, putting orange light to 1, whatever. But now it's a sacky one-of if anyone does play it. So one-ofs are arguably more problematic than a 3-of because you can prepare for a 3-of, whereas a 1-of, it's like, better have it, and they usually do.
And then moving on, that kind of brings us to more of the one-ofs that we would like to move from 3 to 1. And the first one I wanted to see is Tearlaments. I said this in our Banlist reaction video. This card is literally on activation Rhoda for any tier name that you don't have. It's also buffing all of your monsters up 500, which is sometimes game ending. And it is also a pop, which you can now just trigger on either player's turns with the Ishizu cards.
Shout out to Kelbeck and all those friends. And even if you think one copy of Tearlaments is going to mean anything, it won't, because it's at 1 in the OCG, and it's still a tier 0 deck over there. It's just now splashed with the Kashira stuff instead of so much of an Ishizu engine. Konami has been making absurdly powerful field spells lately. Mystic Mine is a perfect example for the last literal 3 years, and now it's been banned and it feels out of touch. And Tearlaments is honestly just way too much for a card. It's popping, it's boosting, and it's just doing, it's too much. It's too much. Why is it a Rhoda? Why is it doing everything? In usual, like, rogue archetypes, that means nothing, but in this deck, a Rhoda is way too much.
Yeah, and it's literally like triggering on either player's turn. Like, that's just insane.
Yeah, the fact that it's just as long as the Tearlaments is shuffled,
wild.
Why?
And still on the going to 1 train, I think Hofnes should have gone to 1. That was honestly the only reason I got out of bed for this ban list. I wanted to see Hofnes to 1. I thought that was a super fair hit. That was a little slap on the wrist while the Ishizu cards just came out. The deck is still maximum power. It's just I'm sick of turn 0 being them comboing and not being me able to activate a card or use my graveyard because they're shuffling everything back because their Hofnes mills were insane. I just wanted to have a fun turn 0, but it turns out I got out of bed for nothing.
Yeah, Hofnes on like a couple formats ago, it was literally just turn 0 window, which is never fun, and now it's just, as Logan said, turn 0 you can mill Ishizus. Any Tearlaments name can get you access to your Kit Kalos. Kit Kalos can either send any other extender, so once again, full combo on turn 0 if you're going second. It's just a card that you can search for additional interaction on your turn. This card feels extremely overpowered. The fact that it is a hand trap that just activates whenever a monster on the board activates is kind of nutty.
It's whack. it's really unfun and there's like nothing you can do. What are you gonna do? Ash it on your turn 0?
Sick Meg 1.
I'm gonna waste my Ash on a Hoffness on turn 0?
Just so you have to deal with it on the
just
follow-up.
so I have to deal with it later? Like, what? Like, it makes no sense. I'm not wasting a hand trap on turns. Hand traps already feel useless, this format. Preface. Hand traps already feel like garbage. Why am I wasting it on a Hoffness on my turn 0? Like, it causes so much negative interaction, and everyone's like, oh, but the deck lets you interact. Yeah, but not this much. And it gets to a point where they domino and snowball so fast that interaction doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter anymore.
The only interaction is negative because they're shuffling my stuff back, they're not letting me do anything, and they're telling me to go F off, essentially, because Kit Kalos said so. I hate this goddamn deck.
Obviously, we are in a tier 0 format here, so we are trying to reduce the consistency of the only deck that's seeing play. I think the other hit that we would have liked to see, not really necessary, but putting an additional name to 2. My pick would probably be Shyren, because it's that like in-hand extender that you can't really play around. As Logan always says, it's better have it. If you have Peelerino, you can search it, so putting Peelerino to 1 hurts the consistency. Putting Shyren to 2, make sure you're not always opening it. I think it's just a little bit of a consistency reduction that allows the deck to still be super functional, but not as broken as it is right now.
I think another thing that people were definitely advocating for, and I'm sure I'll still see this in the comments, was Kit Kalos being banned. While yes, that would definitely hurt the deck, that's not happening because...
It might kill the deck though.
Yeah, the deck is not going to get nerfed anytime soon. I'll tell you this, still running rampant in the OCG, and I know I keep bringing up the OCG, but it is a very good indicator for where our formats are going to be because we are getting all the Kashtira stuff in Photon Hypernova. That meta is currently happening in the OCG, and Tier is still the best deck. So saying hitting Kit Kalos is just not something that's going to happen, especially since the TCG loves combo a whole lot more. So if the OC didn't touch it, TCG certainly is not touching it.
This kind of goes in the same vein, honorable mention, whatever. You can, if you want to keep Shyren at 3, you can put Mirla to 2. Realistically, any name that's going to just reduce the consistency.
And I guess last but not least, because there's really nothing else that needs to be hit because no other decks are relevant, like Sprite pretty much is a brick fest now. I can speak from experience, and the only other real relevant deck that's being played other than Sprite and Tier right now is Flu, everyone's favorite bird deck. And I guess since we're hitting Tier, we should probably hit the birds. I don't know, like we could do Master Duel style and ban the barrier statue because I don't think Flu's like OP or anything by any means, but I do think the barrier statue is kind of annoying and problematic. I know every Flu player and Tier player are already bringing the torches and pitchforks at me, but like hit the barrier statue, I guess. It's not a Flu card, okay?
They just got 3 copies of Macro, they got 3 copies of Defissure. Like if we're being honest, like the ban list was promoting playing
It
Flu.
really was. Like the ban list is essentially like Flu propaganda.
Yeah, there's no other decks that can play these cards at 3. No offense. There's no other decks that can play these cards at 3 that are meta viable. Everyone, like I love every single one. There's so many people like, oh, Grand Maju. Grand Maju's not going to stand up against Tier.
No, trust me, I was
Your Grand Majus are getting milled turn 0. You're not going to see them. It doesn't matter.
No, trust me. I was hard coping. I'm like, yo, Zodiac, we got to take you back to 3. Let's play Macro. Woohoo! And you know what? Macro's really cool. Rukalos effect. But I'm not summoning Helios. Doesn't matter. It has an effect that would summon a monster. Rukalos is pop locking and dropping that into the next moon, bro.
Yeah, so realistically, when it comes to Floowandereeze, I think having those 6 floodgates is actually like ridiculous, and having the barrier statue, and then on top of it, if you don't want to ban the barrier statue, that freaking Harpy trap, dog, that card is not fair. We should just get rid of that card.
Featherstorm's really
Featherstorm is not fair.
It's hard because there's no out to it at this point because we don't have Red Reboot.
Literally an FTK. Like, it is an FTK. It's, card's crazy.
I also think it's really problematic, and this is just a little tidbit thought I want to stick into your cute little minds. The fact that Konami is bringing Floodgates off to 3 and being like, oh, use this to stop Tier. Why don't you let us have a deck that contends against Tier? No, they want you to play Tier. They are reprinting Power of the Elements in an unlimited set because they want you to play Tier Ishizu. Not because they want you to play whatever other deck can play those Floodgates. They're saying, oh, you think these Floodgates are gonna do something? That's so adorable. How about you go play the best deck? If they're trying to promote Floodgates as a way to counter a deck, they're not telling you to play those Floodgates. They're telling you to play the best deck.
And once again, these don't feel like a lot, but it's something that we kind of wanted to see. I think this would have balanced the format out a little bit more. It would have made other decks, like Logan said, Sprite, for example, a deck that just came out, already got hit like a week, 2 weeks into being playable. It just makes these decks feel a little bit more viable. And with having nothing hit in the tier limit or Ishizu strategy, it makes every other deck actually just feel unplayable.
Well, anyway, this is just what we thought was going to be what the ban list could have been.
This is what an e-ban list should have or could have looked like.
I don't know. This didn't feel like an emergency. This felt like they woke up and went,
oops.
Oopsie. But I do want this to be a thoughtful discussion, so please leave your comments in the comment section down below. I'll try to reply to a whole bunch of them. With all that being said, I know we were really passionate about this, but we do care about the game a lot, and it does feel like the state of the game is the same
Yeah,
thing.
it's not fun as content creators, genuinely speaking. Like, face to face, it doesn't feel great reading the comment section, being on our Twitch streams, being on, like, every other person's comment section, and just interacting with different communities, and seeing the number of people that are stepping away from the game
that just aren't
because the
having fun.
format isn't fun. People who are selling out or taking a break because they're not enjoying the game. We like Yu-Gi-Oh! Not because the game is fun, obviously, but also for the community interaction. And when the community isn't there, that's a problem. And it really stands out and is frustrating as players.
Yeah, like, it's not fun for us either. Trust me, I don't want to play Tier. I've been avidly avoiding that deck, and the fact that I might actually have to play it really sucks. Like, at the end of the day, I really want to have fun, and there's no problem with having fun in Yu-Gi-Oh! And if you want to play casually, I can't stress that enough to go do it. But if you're playing competitively right now, it is just a really tough time. And I understand that, and we're going to get through it together, but just know that you're not alone. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. We love you. You matter. We'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow. It's going to be a lot more fun and happy than this. I promise you. But make sure you go watch all these videos. Check out our latest shorts. Bye.
Look out.